Hello everyone, myself Dr. Achita Bhaikar, and today we are going to study about the blood supply of the brain. The objectives of the today's class is at the end of the lecture, each and every student should be able to illustrate and describe the formation of circle of Willis and describe the blood supply of brain, that is the arterial supply and the venous drainage. Blood supply of the brain is of utmost importance because the consciousness is lost within 10 seconds of cessation of the blood flow. And if such state continues, then there will be the brain damage, which is irreversible and which takes from 4 minutes to 10 minutes of duration. And as the cerebrovascular accidents are the third most common cause of death and neurological signs depend upon the site of the lesion, so that's why we should know the blood supply of the brain. The brain is supplied by the pair of vertebral arteries as well as the internal carotid arteries, which is shown here. The vertebral arteries going from back side, they unite at the lower border of the pons to form the basilar artery, which ascends in the midline of the ventral surface of pons and at the upper border terminates by dividing into the right and left posterior cerebral arteries, whereas the internal carotid artery ends in the region of the anterior perforated substance by dividing into large middle cerebral artery and small anterior cerebral artery. So posterior cerebral artery is a branch coming from vertebral artery, middle cerebral as well as the anterior cerebral branches coming from the internal carotid artery. So let's study firstly about the vertebral system, that is a vertebral artery. This vertebral artery is a branch coming from the subclavian artery, which ascends in the foramina transversaria of the upper six cervical vertebra. Then it reaches the base of the skull, then it winds backward and medially around the lateral mass of the atlas and pierces the posterior atlanto-occipital membrane to enter the posterior cranial fossa through the foramina magnum. Here the two vertebral arteries from both the sides unite to form one artery, which is called as the basilar artery. So in this diagram you can see the two vertebral arteries which are joining to form the basilar artery. So branches of the vertebral artery are the anterior spinal artery, then there is one more artery that is supplying the spinal cord, that is the posterior spinal artery, then posterior inferior cerebellar artery, as well as this vertebral arteries also gives the branches which are to the meninges which are near it. So that branches are called as meningeal branches, and as there is a medulla over here, it also supplies the medullary arteries to this medulla. So basilar artery is formed from the union of the two vertebral arteries, which is seen here, the two vertebral arteries which are uniting to form the basilar artery at the lower border of the pons, and it ascends in the basilar sulcus on the ventral aspects of the pons in the cisterna pontis and terminates in the upper border of the pons. It terminates at the upper border of the pons. So in this diagram we can very nicely see the vertebral arteries which are joining to form the basilar artery from the lower border of the pons to the upper border of the pons. So which are the branches of the basilar artery which are given at the side are, if we go from below upward, the branches are anterior inferior cerebellar artery, then there is a labyrinthine artery, then there are many arteries which are called as a pontine artery because it is going to supply the pons, then there is a superior cerebellar artery which is supplying this area. And last but not the least is the posterior cerebral artery. This posterior cerebral artery is passes laterally parallel to the superior cerebellar artery. Here you can see superior cerebral artery and posterior cerebral artery. They both are running parallel to each other, and it curves around the midbrain. Here lies the midbrain. So it curves around the midbrain to reach the medial surface of cerebral hemisphere beneath the splenium of corpus callosum. So now you might be clear about the blood supply of the cerebellum, because this cerebellum is supplied by means of superior cerebellar artery, anterior inferior cerebellar artery, and posterior inferior cerebellar artery. Anterior inferior cerebellar artery is also called as AICA, A-I-C-A, and posterior inferior cerebellar artery is also called as PICA, P-I-C-A. So AICA, you can see here, it is a branch coming from the basilar artery, as well as superior cerebellar artery is also coming from the basilar artery. Whereas PICA, which is supplying the posterior inferior part of the cerebellum, is coming from the vertebral artery. So this is one of the most important MCQ. After knowing the course of the posterior cerebral artery, let's study about the branches of the posterior cerebral artery. Posterior cerebral artery, it gives the anterior temporal branch, the posterior temporal branch, the parieto-occipital branch, and the calcarine branch. So this is the parieto-occipital in the sulcus, parieto-occipital sulcus, and the calcarine into the calcarine sulcus. So after knowing the vertebro-basilar system, let's study about the carotid system. So carotid system, it consists of mainly the internal carotid artery. This internal carotid artery is the terminal branch of the common carotid artery. So it is coming from common carotid artery and traverses the carotid canal. So here lies the carotid canal in the base of the skull and enters the middle cranial fossa. It enters here into the middle cranial fossa beside the dorsum celli. So here lies the dorsum celli. Beside this lies the carotid canal. From there, it runs then first forwards along the floor of the cavernous sinus. So this blue color structure is the cavernous sinus, along the floor and medial wall of the cavernous sinus, and then it turns upwards. Then it goes in the upward direction on the medial side of the anterior clinoid process. At this point, the artery pierces the dural roof of the cavernous sinus and also the arachnoid mater to enter the subarachnoid space. Now then it runs backwards. Now it is going to run backwards and then upwards to lie in the lateral to the optic chiasma. So here lies the optic chiasma. So it is in relation with the optic chiasma just underneath the anterior perforated substance of the brain. And then it gives two important branches. One is the middle cerebral artery, which is this one, and the other one is the anterior cerebral artery. So here it is giving the two main branches, the middle cerebral artery and the anterior cerebral artery. So this part of the carotid artery where there is a convexity in the forward direction is called as the carotid siphon. And the importance of this siphon is that it dampens the arterial pulsation to provide a more steady and regular stream of blood flow to the brain. So the cerebral part of the internal carotid artery, it gives mainly the 5 branches. One is to the eyes, which is called as the ophthalmic artery. Then we have seen the anterior cerebral artery, the middle cerebral artery, and posterior communicating artery, as well as one more branch which is going to supply the choroid plexus. It is called as the anterior choroidal artery. So these are the main 5 branches of the internal carotid artery. Now let's study in detail about this anterior cerebral artery. First, the course of this anterior cerebral artery. We have seen this anterior cerebral artery is a small terminal branch coming from the internal carotid artery. So this is the internal carotid artery and its small terminal branch is giving the anterior cerebral artery. Then this artery runs forward and medially above the optic nerve. So this is the optic nerve. It is running forward and medially to commence of the median longitudinal fissure. There it is lying in the median longitudinal fissure. Again an MCQ for you all, that where this artery is going to lie, and the anterior cerebral artery of both the sides are united by means of anterior communicating artery. In this diagram also you can see the anterior cerebral artery, which is just in the median longitudinal fissure and curving around the genu of corpus callosum. So this point is important. and this helps us in identification in the carotid angiography. So let's study about the branches of the anterior cerebral artery. So this was the anterior cerebral artery, and the branches of it are the orbitofrontal artery. So this is the orbitofrontal artery. Then this is called as the polar frontal artery. This is the callosomarginal artery. Then this is around the corpus callosum, so that's why this is called as the pericallosal artery, which is going to give various branches to the corpus callosum, which are called as the callosal branches. Now the next artery we are going to study is about the middle cerebral artery. The middle cerebral artery is a larger terminal branch of the internal carotid artery, and it appears to be in direct continuation of the internal carotid artery. You can see the diameter of the internal carotid artery as well as the diameter of the middle cerebral artery, which is almost the same. This middle cerebral artery first runs in the lateral sulcus, that is in the stem of the lateral sulcus, and then turns backwards and upwards in the posterior ramus of the lateral sulcus, and then breaks up into main three branches. One is going to the frontal lobe, one is going to parietal lobe, and the other is going to the temporal lobe. Now let's study the branches of the middle cerebral artery. This middle cerebral artery, it gives the branches as the prefrontal branch, then it gives one branch which is lying anterior to the central sulcus. So that's why this branch is called as precentral artery. This artery is lying in the central sulcus, so that's why this artery is called as central artery. And as this is lying in the postcentral sulcus, this artery is called as the postcentral artery. Now here it also supplies the temporal lobe by the anterior temporal artery, the middle temporal artery. Lastly, here it is going to supply the temporal as well as the occipital region. So this branch is called as the temporo-occipital artery. This branch goes near the angular sulcus, so that's why it is called as the angular artery. So arterial supply of the different surface of the cerebral hemisphere. If we want to study only about the arterial supply of the superior lateral surface, here we have given various colors to the various compartments which is supplied by the various arteries. Now the most of the superior lateral surface, about 2/3, is supplied by middle cerebral artery, which is shown here in orange color or red color. The region of the cerebral cortex supplied include the greater part of the primary motor area, then primary sensory area and the frontal eye field area, as well as there is an Broca's area and the Wernicke's area which is lying here. So it is also supplied by means of the middle cerebral artery. Whereas a narrow strip of the cerebral cortex, here you can see, which is blue in color, it is supplied by the anterior cerebral artery. This area is about 2.5 cm in width from the superior median fissure, and it supplies the upper part of the primary motor area, and the upper part of the primary sensory area is in this area only, and the narrow strip along the lower border of the temporal lobe, excluding the temporal pole, and occipital lobe are supplied by the posterior cerebral artery. So here we can see this is the posterior cerebral artery which is concerned with this, which is demarcated in yellow in color. Now the arterial supply of the medial surface of the cerebral hemisphere. Most of the medial surface, that is anterior 2/3, is supplied by the anterior cerebral artery, which is shown here in blue in color. The region of the cerebral cortex supplied include the parts of the motor and sensory areas concerned with the perineum, leg and foot. The temporal pole of the temporal lobe is supplied by means of the middle cerebral artery, which is orange in color, and the occipital lobe is supplied by the posterior cerebral artery, and which is shown here in yellow color, and which includes the main cortex of the visual area, that is visual cortex area. Now studying the arterial supply of the inferior surface of the cerebral hemisphere. Most of the inferior surface except the temporal pole is supplied by means of the posterior cerebral artery. Lateral part of the orbital surface of frontal lobe and temporal lobe is supplied by means of the middle cerebral artery, which is shown here in pink color, and medial part of the orbital surface of the frontal lobe is supplied by the anterior cerebral artery.